Alright, guys, welcome to the 37. Today we're going to be talking about the fear of change. We're going to continue from where we stopped yesterday. So yesterday we just looked at how this fear really works and why it happens like that. But today we're going to be looking at how to actually approach this fear and deal with it. So the first one is identifying the fear or being very specific, with the fear. And so what that means is that the fear of change is not necessarily about change itself. Sometimes it can be a fear of perceived loss, right? It could be loss of comfort, loss of familiarity, loss of approval or security, right? So when you are able to be specific, you're able to identify and be specific, about the fear, then it becomes more manageable, right? Because there's something in particular that you are actually afraid of losing. It's not just about the change, right? It's about what you tend to lose, because of the change. So that's the first step. So the second one is differentiating between real risk and emotional discomfort. Remember we said yesterday that whenever we encounter new experiences or unfamiliar events, right, the first reaction of our body, of our mind, is that this is a potential danger. Wow. Why? Because it is unfamiliar, because you're uncertain about it. It's just something you're not just used to. So it signals it as a potential danger, right? So sometimes you need to learn to differentiate, right, and separate these things. Is this just an emotional discomfort, or is it real risk, right? Is this actually unsafe, or is this just unfamiliar? For example, changing a new career may look very uncertain, but it's not. It may look very uncertain, right? And that's just because it is unfamiliar, not because it is unsafe, right? Building new relationships, having new friends, right, may feel very weird, engaging with people, and that's because it's new. It's something you're going beyond your normal zone or your comfort zone, right? So it's going to feel weird, right? You're going to have that emotional discomfort, but that doesn't mean that you should now stop because of the emotional discomfort. Now, thirdly, is to shrink the change. This just basically means that instead of just seeing the whole idea like I'm going to become a new person, I'm going to change into a new person, instead of just seeing everything changing completely at once, right? Just magically, see it like a step-by-step process. Okay, I'm going to change this habit today, or I'm going to start doing this first today, or I'm going to start talking to this person today. So just step by step, right? So even though you have the big picture, break it into steps, right? So that you can actually you can actually shrink it, right? So it becomes easier to face and easier to deal with, so it doesn't look so dangerous. But four is expect emotional instability, right? Just like I explained earlier, you're going to experience new things, you're going to feel out of place, you're going to feel less confident in yourself. You're going to question yourself. Others are also going to question you, right? But if you know that this change is needed and it's required, then expect emotional instability. Emotional instability, just as a result of you transitioning into something new, it does not mean that you shouldn't engage in it again. So your values, your identity should not be rooted in your environment, or rather your values, right? Have values, and that value should determine, your environment. It should determine every other thing, right? Because if your identity is linked to your environment, let's say, oh, these are my friends, these are my type of friends, this is my job title, this is my routine, this is my reputation. All of these things are just your environment. So if you're more closely attached to these things than your values, then change will be hard, because it will be harder for you to change from this set of friends to this set of friends, because you've already built an identity with these friends, right? So, or if you have values and standards, it will be easier, because your type of friends are not just a particular people. They are people that have certain standards, certain values, certain behaviors, and certain interests, right? So the values, should be of priority than the environment, because your environment will definitely change, right? You have to expect the environment to change. And then lastly, accept that many people don't understand, right? So you're the one that knows why you need to change. You're the one that knows what happened and what you want to happen, right? So many people will not understand, many people will not agree with you, and that's fine, right? It's your life. Initially it may not make sense, but at the end of the day, those three people that you understand will finally understand, and will also, congratulate you for actually taking that step, even though they themselves they like it initially. So focus more on what you have to do to make your life better than what other people have to say. Alright, so I hope with these 6 steps we're actually able to see like a view of how to deal with this fear of change, because change must occur, right? Especially if you're living on purpose. There are many instances and scenarios of change, right, that will need you to change. And there's this fear, there's always this fear. And so you just need to know how to engage it and how to deal with it in a way that it doesn't destroy you, or in a way that it doesn't limit or stop you from going where you have to be. Alright, thank you for watching this video. See you tomorrow.